everybody. We're here today for an interview with the generational LGBT activist Dede Oetomo. So glad to have you with us today. How are you, Pak Dede?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, super. We've been wanting to interview you for some time now, and so
Okay.
This
Why
worked
not?
out very nicely.
Yeah, the timing is perfect, and you're an adjunct professor at several universities in Surabaya too, I should add.
Yep.
Yeah, we wanted to hear about your thoughts on current affairs and developments and trends in society in Indonesia. But first, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your career, which is a long one. When did you start?
I, s- I wrote
Yeah.
I wrote my first piece on coming out in 1980
Wow.
in a popular psychology magazine called Anda. I was ready to actually use my own name, but the editors thought, well, they don't want to put me in trouble, so they
Yeah.
actually use a pseudonym for me. But that I usually date my activism from that. I came out
Yeah.
about 6 months before that. Um,
And
uh,
so, what age were you then? You don't have to be specific, but
26.
a young
No, it's
man,
okay. 26.
26.
Yeah. Wow.
And what happened?
What? About 15 people from all over Indonesia wrote to the editor of Anda, and they passed on the letters in a bulky envelope. I was in Ithaca, New York. I was at Cornell, and
Yeah.
so there was this, little package of letters from people from all the way from Lampung to Makassar. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly, but 15. And these are the 15 that I started writing um, uh, to, and well, they wrote to me, I wrote back, and then we
Yeah.
discussed things. And one of them, Chandra Sudarsana, uh, thought about organizing. And in the meantime, I actually joined the student, gay and lesbian organization on campus. It's simply called Gay People at Cornell. It used to be the Student for Homophile League, and then Cornell Gay Liberation. But by the time I joined, it was just Gay People at Cornell. Not very political. We were just, so I got the idea from the organization, and one alumnus on Alumni Week visited Cornell, and then there was a question, who could put them up, and so I put them up, the two of them, Robert Roth and Art Leonard, and Bob is like kind of an Asianophile, somebody who loves Asia,
Yeah.
and so he gave me contacts in Asia, but also ideas about putting people in touch with each other,
Mm.
and things like that. And that was the beginning of the idea. And then I wrote mostly letters to the editor of Tempo, of well, Compass was not too friendly. I have to mention that. But the other magazines, the women's magazines were very welcoming
Yeah.
to letters. Sarina, Cartini, and anyway, so that's how it happened. It was letter writing. I mean, writing letters to the editor, and then so the 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 cohort kind of grew,
Yeah.
and or I would say, if they complain, if they say they're afraid, well, be careful, but you're not wrong. This is not mental disorder. Um, in the early days, I didn't touch on religion yet.
Yeah.
I wasn't approached by clerics and pastors. I mean, good ones. um, so so basically, of course, some of them flirted with me, but I think I responded sometimes, but it was long distance anyway. I was in
Yeah.
North America, and yeah, I would send them clippings and pictures and whatnot, but the letter to the editor, I think the editors were good. I mean, like I think my letter to Tempo in 1981, that was actually interesting because there are these two lesbians in Jakarta who got married, and I'm not sure. Some people said that
Wow.
they were they were really out. Others said that the Tempo journalist actually crashed their
Ah,
party
yeah.
and outed them. But anyway, I well, the reporting was actually quite neutral. No judgment. So I
Mm.
actually praised Tempo in a 3-line or 4-line letter. It was published, and that
Yeah.
um, brought in another 100 or so letters, and 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 what is key also is that I had an uncle by marriage, and my aunt's husband, who was the editor of a popular family magazine called Liberty in Surabaya, and he actually gave me this idea. You seem to be typing all these letters every night, every day. Why don't you publish a newsletter? And
Yes,
so
yeah.
out of that came Gaya Hidup Ceria in
Yeah.
1982. And the
Huh.
organization was called Lambda Indonesia. I believe it was the first in Indonesia for gay men.
Yeah.
Trans women started in the 60s on a kind of a
Wow.
different path. And
Yeah.
actually, Saskia Wieringa's book mentioned that lesbians also organized around the same time. So
Which time? The
that's
60s or
that's
the
that's
80s?
sorry.
They organized during which time? The 60s or the 80s?
Late 60s, with the facilitation of Pak Ali Sadikin, governor of Jakarta.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
the organization is not there anymore, but the, if you want to talk about the longest running organization, it would I think it would be the one in Surabaya, Persatuan Waria Kota
Mm.
Surabaya, Perwakos,
Very, very
which
famous. Yeah.
which is still around,
Yeah.
and still active, and we're in good relations with them. So anyway,
Yeah.
I would say the rest of it is history. But basically, publication. I think in movement in movement vocabulary, it's called knowledge building, knowledge production,
Yeah.
and debating with society. And so this is not wrong. This is all right.
Yeah.
Uh, so basically, and introducing the idea of pride, and the whole works. I mean, and now
Yeah.
of course, uh, even non-LGBTQ people and organizations celebrate pride. So that, for example, the University of Indonesia student publication got into trouble for for defending for celebrating Pride Month and saying that Pancasila, the state ideology does have a place for gender and sexual diversity, which
Yeah.
of
Huh.
course it does,
Well,
humanity.
that's exactly what I wanted to ask you when you talk about the things you were hearing in the early 80s about LGBT as a mental issue.
Mhm,
Sounds really, really familiar to what young
mhm.
LGBT Indonesians must be hearing
Sure.
today. Um, how that must be a tough thing to keep hearing the same things over decades. What wins have been there for Indonesian LGBTs in your long career?
I think the clearest is actually numbers.
Yep.
There are now maybe 1,000, 2,000 activists, and these are actually, well, some of them are full-time activists. But their organization is all and I think almost all the provinces, even in Aceh, underground, of
Yeah.
course, they're still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the way to Papua. I mean, I'm not comfortable about Papua because we shouldn't be there. But hey, the queer and trans people in Papua are there, and they
Yeah.
organize also. And yeah, so that's the looking at the bright side, certainly, yeah.
Mm.
And then well, this year it's amazing. I the Hobbit, the International Day Against Homophobia, by biphobia, transphobia, intersexphobia, and whatever. uh, it is celebrated by certainly feminist organizations like Jurnal Perempuan,
Yeah.
by you know uh, mainstream human rights organizations like Amnesty, LBH Masyarakat. So I think together with with these hundreds of activists, we've been able to mainstream the issue. Of
Mm.
course, the attack is also vicious now,
Mm.
which to me shows that we're serious, we're real.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, these attacks seem to go in waves. I remember when I first started
Yes.
to get to know Indonesia, there was one sort of cresting back in 2017, and there seems
Yes.
to be another one at the moment, particularly around young people and universities. Could you
Yeah.
give us a bit of background on what this current wave is all about?
Well, young people have their own way of thinking, obviously, and come on, this is not rocket science. It's just basically you want to be, able to love who you love, and to be who you are in terms of your gender identity or gender expression. And ama- it is amazing to see. I mean, we talked about how I came out at 26. These days, uh, freshmen. I mean, even high school students. Of course, they were careful. They had their own circles. They wouldn't scream about being gay or trans or lesbian on from the rooftops. But they find each other.
Yeah.
I had a visit from a young student the other day, and he's actually with Queer Indonesia Archive. That's how he came to my place, and he actually said that during orientation week, the queer the queer and non-binary students, freshmen, they look for each other
Yeah.
and they know the signs, and at one of the universities I teach, called Erlangga University, there is a group of students who has come out, at least as a group, calling
Yep.
themselves Queer Langga.
Mm.
That's a great
And
name.
they,
Yeah.
they signed a petition at the ASEAN level the other day, and I saw it. So that's what's happening. And then so-called allies have also joined in, except in Aceh probably, and yeah, and in more kind of conservative provinces.
Mm.
Human rights organizations explicitly defend, either Hobbit, or they celebrate
Mm.
Pride, and yeah. So what were you gonna say, Kevin?
Yeah, I was curious. So, whom, in your experience, tends to be the most formidable or problematic adversary or detractor? Is it religious organizations or regional governments or the central government, or does it depend?
Well, certainly religious organizations
Yeah.
of the Islamic and Christian type. The Christians are not so vocal, but they are I think, more insidious. I mean, they even charge you for conversion therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Deep,
That's
you know.
it's big business too. They banned it in Australia a few years ago, and then a lot of people go to get sent to Indonesia for it.
Anyway, so religious organizations, and then in terms of governments, uh, some governments is that's why I mentioned conservative provinces, right? Aceh,
Mm.
certainly, West Sumatra, West Java,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
uh, and seem to come out with these regional ordinances, peraturan daerah. Uh, um, Interestingly, the ordinances don't explicitly mention what the punishment is.
Oh,
Yeah.
They try to they try to sound humane. Oh yeah, we'll fix you. We
Oh,
love you, so we'll fix
yeah.
you. That kind
Yeah.
of thing.
yeah. I know.
So
Last time
yeah.
I checked, that in the health ministry, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, there's was it maybe the way down? It's like the director level. Maybe there's a
Hmm.
unit. The official policy is that homosexuality is a disease. That was the official stance of
Wow.
the health ministry last time I checked, which was a couple years ago. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Well, I'm not sure which. I think there was a an official who actually made, I guess, dissenting statements, because the official DSM, the equivalent to the American Diagnostic and Statistical Map.
Yep.
Uh, the latest was from 1993. It's a bit dated, actually. Explicitly mentions homosexuality is no longer a mental disorder. Now,
Oh,
transgender identity is still seen as gender identity disorder. So they
Mm.
haven't followed the ICD-11 of the WHO. Um, Now, yeah, you asked, the formidable adversaries.
yeah,
The ministries are actually terrible. The
yeah.
Mm.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs, if you're a diplomat, you better really lie low.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, or you know on you won't get sacked, but you probably will, not see your career go up. And of
well,
course,
Yeah.
the army and the police. I mean, the armed forces.
Mm.
Army, navy, and from time to time, there's a statement from some ministry or some government office, like the office of the attorney general, that if you're LGBT, we will not hire you, and all of that, which is at times. And then universities. I mean, the latest, of course, is actually
Yeah.
University of Indonesia, which actually, I thought about it before this recording. I thought, well, at University of Indonesia there are scholars. I mean, professors who would actually say something like, shame on you, professor, to actually study this abominable topic. So so I think University of Indonesia is kind of part of West Java, and something similar happened at Erlangga, where I taught, where I teach. Um, uh, it was about safe space for LGBTQ students, and I actually told the history that, I mean, I survived the university until now. I mean, I'm not a tenured professor anymore, but that's another story. Not because I'm gay. Um, and the university did, and actually I think he's a preman, so he's a thug lawyer, actually threatened the university that they should fire me, or else we'll sue you. By what law? He doesn't even know his laws. So that's the thing that actually lasted 3 hours. I was a bit stressed out because I mean, if somebody attacked my house, it's not a fortress.
Yeah.
But then the poor students actually they're the ones who were stressed out because they're young and they at their first time to write, and then they got attacked. But I hope they're actually given some counseling by the university. There is at the university there is now an office for prevention of sexual violence.
Mhm.
Uh, every university has that officially. Um, but in some universities, the violence comes from the university when you're gay or non-binary or
Yeah.
trans.
Hmm.
So that's kind of a short list or long list actually of the adversaries. Yeah, but we should also mention the allies. I mean, human
Yes.
rights organizations, feminist organization mostly. Some clerics like Ibu Musdah Mulia.
Hmm.
Uh, she's the most prominent, and she's been attacked. She's been, I mean, if you want to invite her for a talk or something, and the local Nahdlatul Ulama and you,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
oh no, not her. She's a Zionist. She's an American lackey, whatnot.
Wow.
All that
Yeah,
sort of
so
stuff.
but there are also others like less known figures in Jakarta and probably elsewhere, which we don't know
Mm.
because because with Erin, you mentioned in 2017, what happened with the attacks is that media is kind of reluctant to
Yeah.
cover the issue, except for Tempo, which still does, and then or the online medias like
Mm,
Magdalene.co and
mm.
Project M, Project Multatuli, but the mainstream media. Well, we should mention the Jakarta Post, but that's in English,
Yeah.
but Jakarta Post actually posted a pride statement this month. Yeah. So the allies have increased also. The number of activists have increased,
Yep.
and it's now I think it's now a household
Mm.
term.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it's there.
You know what it is. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe not exactly if you're an adversary,
Might have some
but
strange ideas. Yep.
if you're young and you're different in one way or another, you know what to do. Even in my organization, the 20-year-olds there, they said, wait a minute, we're non-binary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't call us trans. We're not trans,
Mm.
but we're
Not under that
non-binary.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they use. I mean, of course they don't speak English, but they use the they pronoun for example, or they or he, and that kind of thing. So it's become like. I mean, I try to be careful not to, because I'm so deep in the movement, but you hear it all the time.
Mm. Mm. How much of a difference has social media made in bringing sort of the community together, but also magnifying a lot of the sort of
Both of them actually. It goes both
yeah,
ways. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I mean it's. I mean, I felt it myself. The effect of social media, how, because there is a post, by some lawyer threatening to sue my university. I
yeah,
was stressed out for 3 hours. And then at the end of those days, I said, come on, I mean, you should know better not to be stressed out. But you never know these things.
yeah, well,
Um,
yeah,
and it's yeah, so that is certainly there, but also it's a way of actually it's kind of, I mean, I'm saying this not negatively. It's like a big closet. You
Mm.
could hide first before you're ready, and then you
Yep.
find your peers, and then slowly as you get stronger, or you will, and coming out is not always total anyway, so it's going to be partial, and
So I want to ask you about this polarizing political figure who's been around for 30 years, Amin Rice, and he made
yeah,
headlines. Was it last
that
month,
was
I
a
think?
surprise.
Yeah,
Somebody
we all know
of
accusations that he leveled him.
explicitly mentioning Lieutenant Colonel Teddy, the Secretary of the Cabinet, as gay. He did mention the word gay. He did not mention who his partner was, though. So that's very Javanese, just figure out yourself who the partner is. Of course, it's President Prabowo. Now, to make a long story short, I have to mention Hartoyo, my good friend Hartoyo, who's an activist in his own right. He actually posted the other day on Facebook that this may be the political Islamist camp's attempt of attacking Prabowo, and the grand scenario is to get rid of Prabowo this year. Out there's already talk about Reformasi 2,
Yeah.
meaning, of course, and those who are pro Jokowi who think, well, if Prabowo goes, who's going to be vice president? Nepo baby, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll be vice president, and I mean, no, this is my own crazy thought. Maybe then Jokowi will come in, like Putin when Medvedev was president. Jokowi will come in as vice president.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it might be too crazy, but
Can't rule anything out, though, I think.
yeah. But the thing is, so I've actually discussed this with former students who are politically more savvy than I am, and they kind of agree that this is, this whole thing, an attack on the University of Indonesia, the raids are actually leading there.
Yep.
I mean, it's like not directly attacking. Well, I mean, that is directly attacking. But the good thing is, of course, that there are people who said, "Come on, don't attack his personal orientation. Attack the fact that he was promoted in the army too quickly, and too young to be, or at least he should have retired from the army, but he did. He hasn't, right? And things like that. So yeah,
That's it seems to me to be like a really tricky one to thread, because I see it's given sort of a license, at least from what I see online, for progressive left Indonesians who are anti-LGBT to sort of spread these homophobic messages. What's your approach to that? Is it sort of everybody
well,
needs to settle down a little bit here, or
I'd say I think, I mean, if I'm allowed to claim a little influence on that, I mean, like, as a movement, I think the left is not too homophobic.
yeah,
So they're the ones who would say, look, if you want to attack them on the nepotism, on the non-transparency, on the corruption, things like that. And and of course they'll attack back by the Islamists, but also, like, well, by the way, that thug lawyer that threatened the university, he's Christian.
yeah, yep,
So this is not a
a
totally
strictly,
religion. Actually,
yeah,
there's a colleague of mine in Thailand, Shelly Berry, um, who wrote about Thailand, how, of course, before the marriage equality and everything, that the resistance to marriage equality and now legal gender recognition didn't have anything with Buddhism. It was just
Mm.
some modernity that you're modern. There's only two genders, and not that which is not monopolized by Thailand or people here. I mean, the Vatican doesn't want to accept two genders.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling doesn't accept more than two genders. So it's
Very true. Yep.
a culture war. I mean, the phrase that has been flashing in my mind the past few days is culture war. I mean, it's we are at war. I mean, and it's not like only in Indonesia. I mean, it could be the emphasis different. In the U.S., it's being trans.
Mm.
Yeah. Here, both. I think
Yeah.
it used to
More
be.
broad.
It used to be if you're trans, then you're more accepted. Not
Yeah.
anymore. Oh, yeah, it used to be. Um, but at the same time, you would have festivals where trans people would still perform, trans women
Yeah,
would
there were
perform.
you could trans women would be on TV on a regular basis, and that was
Well, not anymore now. It's
yeah, but in the old days, in the 1990s, and it
oh
was a
yeah, in the
good
old
thing and a
days.
bad thing, but it was really noticeable that their
Now, of
communities
course,
were yeah.
yeah, it's the reduction of media um, space that is palpably felt actually now. That it used to be I could show up on TV positively. Hey,
Yeah.
let's listen from Pade, let's listen to Padede. What is this all about? Now, if at all, I'm invited to. It's actually to be attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like here is this awful person.
How about
Oh.
the Ministry of Communications and Information, Komdigi, because that's one of the
They're
group.
bad. And they
Yeah.
I mean, before it was Komdigi, when it was Minister of Communication, it was communication, right? I mean, under Tifatul and
Oh,
those days, they were already blocking even websites of LGBTQ organizations, international ones.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, we know how to, avoid that. So we host our websites overseas. So we're all right for that. Yeah, and then the dating apps were controlled. So and yeah, and I'm not sure if they're the same group of people. But there's a broadcast bill or something, right, in Parliament, where they're going to ban these things. Yeah, and I've actually seen posts by members of Parliament calling it the Putin law, because in Russia, and the latest from the Ulama Council is, we need more harsh laws against LGBT promotion. So
And yet, so do you see some measure of insulation or security somehow, perhaps, in the fact that um, eh, the claims that Amin Rice made about the cabinet secretary, the son of the president um, he's a single man who's a fashion designer who's lived in Paris. You see does it mean that the administration is going to be less inclined, perhaps, to vilify this community?
I'm not sure, because in the old days with with Job Ave in the cabinet, we didn't get
Yeah.
protection. But of
Right,
course, in
right.
the old days, we were not bothered. There were just some statements, about not supporting gay and lesbian rights at the UN in the 90s. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I'm not sure. It's going to
Hmm.
um,
Help or
they're
not
going
helping.
they're not going to protect, but and they don't rein in the police, for example.
Mm.
When we mentioned the adversaries earlier, and I haven't got to the police, which would do these raids, and some of them are actually what do you call them, staged. The one in Surabaya, people were actually told to be naked. They're videoed, they're filmed, and it was used as an evidence. But and between the prosecutor and the judge in Surabaya, they didn't do anything. They just
Yeah.
accepted which is
Wow.
terrible, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
dehumanizing.
so no hope from the national government. I should mention an initiative in eastern Indonesia called the Five Human Rights Friendly Cities. The short name is Five East. I think it's Ternate, Ambon, Kupang, Maumere, and probably Manado, actually. And they're very close to actually having local um, draft regional ordinances for human rights, but they in some I know in the one in Kupang does mention explicitly sexual orientation and gender identity
Wow,
Mm.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's
in
really incredible.
Kupang. Yeah. So my organization and and other organizations work in a consortium, but we got to the stage where local activists can actually take care of the work,
Yeah.
and
That's
so we
brilliant.
so it's Eastern Indonesia is a promise for now, and then we'll see. Because at the national level, there's just um, no light at the end of the tunnel. I mean,
Mm.
my dream is that in these student demonstrations, some people would actually take out or bring out the rainbow flag,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's an issue for young people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that hasn't
absolutely.
the flag's
I mean,
not
and
you never see the
it's not
flag in
happening yet. It's not
yeah.
happening yet. And at the University of Indonesia, it's actually it goes. It's not clear right now where the general students are with this issue of the student publication.
Mm.
The article was taken down,
Hmm.
Yes.
but basically to protect the writer and the editor and all that.
Yeah, so these people come under attack routinely, I
Yeah.
think. And you yourself have come under personal attack, I know. You know. So what's your advice to in these situations when there's a young activist who's facing threats of doxing or hate mail? What do you tell them to lay low or to fight back?
Oh, lay low for a while, then and then come out again.
Well,
But because
I
that's
like
what I've
that.
been doing. My
yeah.
first
Yeah.
death threat was in 1999 in Solo.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
The FPI Surakarta was looking for me
Ugh.
with
Yeah.
with jerry cans of gasoline. We will
right.
burn him.
Ugh.
I
And that
know, I
happens.
know.
There's
Yeah.
violence, right? There are victims of
Well,
violence.
it didn't happen because the good Kusumasa Head Prince Hotel hit me,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's that hotel belongs to the Mangkunegaran family, so they were not going to attack that hotel.
Yeah. Can't
So,
touch that.
yeah, but apparently this is again part of a larger political context at the time. The week before, Habibi, who was still running for president at that time, was attacked by people from the People's Democratic Party, which was then still quite organized, and I was a member of the PRD, and so it was a media event. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a social media thing, but it was the like print media thing, and we were planning a national meeting of 20 organizations. That's all, but we were
Right.
naive, but thinking that Reformasi would actually allow us to do a press release.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, we learned our lesson. Not
Mhm.
very long ago. In 2010, my organization and Arus Pelangi, the organization in Jakarta, attempted to host the Asian conference of the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, and Intersex Association. Of course, it was attacked big time.
Oh, and was that
Yeah.
violent?
Almost, but they didn't beat people. They
Hmm.
entered the hotel. They almost went from room to room
Oh,
Oof.
to look for activists, and police kind of didn't protect us, but they actually gave the solution of, okay, those from outside Indonesia, you leave as soon as you get flights out. Then the ones from inside Indonesia, they were sheltered by local people, and
Wow.
then they go home as soon as possible. So that was the 2000. But 2010 is another year. I mean, the Queer Film Festival, the Q Film Festival, I should say, was attacked too in Jakarta, in Jogja. Although those days, the one in Jogja was actually saved by Kacamada University and
Hmm.
Atmajaya Catholic University.
okay.
So,
Well, good for them.
yeah.
And about the situation in Aceh where there's canings meted out routinely
Oh,
to
yeah.
violators of Sharia law. Is there any hope or trend or active? I mean, you said there are activists, or
Well, they're trying to help people cope with them. So the key word is actually cope. They cope with
yeah.
the situation, be careful, and Aceh activists has apparently I've been told they have a suitcase ready in case they need to flee to Medan.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and but some of those still stay there. There's a new book actually that has just been out of New York University Press called "Enduring Otherwise." I think it is by Ferdi Tayeb, who's ethnically Achenese. And it's interesting how I remember one statement by a trans woman activist that I'm not going to give them the pleasures of actually making us stop. I'm going to continue as long as I live. So
Wow.
that, how should I say it? That spirit of fight. By
Defiance.
the way,
Hmm.
of resistance. That particular activist used to be with GUM, with the Gerakan Merdeka.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
at least she's from a GUM family,
yeah.
so the
Oh,
fighting spirit is still there.
yeah, big time. That's a perfectly Archinese story, isn't it? That's excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so thank you so much, Dede.
Well,
Been-
thank you for doing this, and just send me the link when it's ready, and then we'll amplify it, as they say.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. It's
Thank you.
amazing history to be hearing about. Thank you.
Yeah.
an amazing future too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the pod. Our editor is Stephen Hendogo. Music by Blue Dot Sessions. To get a free trial of Kevin's newsletter, head to reformasi.info and check my newsletter, Diary Mullet Care Mullet, at diarymullet.substack.com. I'm Erin Cook. We'll see you next week.